sure, just to see, or the YouTube episode.
There will be a test.
Or Patreon.
No, but on our Patreon, that's where we give the stuff not suitable for work content, you know.
So some folks, I've been seeing in the comments, they'll go to the audio only version and listen to that because it's not as edited. And then they'll come to YouTube to watch the episode. So smart, guys, smart. That's the way to do it.
That's fair. That's fair. What do we got, man?
You ready to talk some wrestling?
I'm definitely ready to talk some wrestling, but we are still sipping on this magnificent bottle of Yamazaki 18. I'm trying to educate all of you and bring you along to the finer side of life. If you appreciate the finer things. The sweet nectar of the gods.
What did Harley say? Ryan quoted her yesterday. Mama.
All right. We're marking out with MVP Dwayne Swayze. Some of you are relatively new, joining us on Buzzer for the first time. The premise of this show is where me and my good friend, we sip some whiskey and we talk wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
So join us. I would say right now, go ahead and grab something that you enjoy. I don't know if you like, Kool-Aid, fruit juice, water, glass of milk, whatever.
Some OJ.
Yeah, sip along with us. And I'll talk about, wrestling from my perspective, my experience, my career, yada, yada, yada. What we got, Dwayne?
All right, so.
Yada, yada, yada.
P, today, let me ask you this one. If a wrestler is losing a lot on TV, what still has to be protected in the way they're presented so the audience does not stop taking them seriously?
Oh, well, in that one, it's the presentation of the wrestler. If you got a wrestler that's being clowned and made funny, then they're not going to take him seriously. If you have a wrestler who loses, but especially if you have a heel, actually, it works both ways. If you have a heel, as long as they're vicious and you can see, like, when they're laying into that baby face, like, they're getting some vicious heat and that baby face is really taking a beating and selling and fighting hard up from underneath. And as long as that heel is giving you some credible, I hate you heat, then that heel can lose. And you won't even really remember, as long as the finish is put together where, okay, the babyface can beat the heel with their finish, but man, they had to put in work. So as long as the people perceive that, when this guy comes out, all right, he might not win, but man, somebody's about to go down, And that babyface is key to that by selling and really letting you in with the agony and the pain and, a couple of like really good false finishes where, oh man, I thought the heel, when that babyface kicks out and you're like, I thought he had him, It doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, especially if that's that person's role. Then you don't really care because that person's going to kick some. And every now and again, they get a win. You keep them honest by giving them a win on TV. But as long as they're brutal and they can give a vicious heat that makes you have sympathy for that babyface, and that babyface has a legitimate obstacle to overcome. I'll give you an example. Big Show. Big scary giant. They would have him go out there and do all this comical stuff where, he's doing the imitations and the accents and be funny, hysterical to see this giant doing this. And, you'd see that for a few months. And then as soon as John Cena needed somebody for the pay-per-view, the big scary giant comes out, beats 2 or 3 people at a time.
Right.
Now this is serious Big Show. This is like, ain't nobody beating this dude. He's just on a rampage, people every week. And then you get to the pay-per-view where the babyface has something to overcome. The flip side of that, though, is if you have a really good babyface who's not figured into the program to be, a top guy or, to be over. If he's a babyface that still really gives you that fire and has a persona and an in-ring presence that you really like that guy or girl, woman, and you're you see they got that fighting spirit. And they're selling, but they keep coming back. They keep. Then it's easy to buy into that person too, because again, when they come out, they might not win, but their guy. That's my guy, man. He's gonna have a match. The match is gonna be good.
All right.
And there's gonna be those few times where you're rooting for him and he's got that heel and the heel kicks out. As long as you still get that, then you can, and then again, the key is though, just to keep people invested in knowing that this guy isn't a quote unquote job guy. You got to give them some victories on TV on occasion to be like, oh no, this guy can win. He still. Subscribe to Marking Out with MVP and Dwayne Swayze. New episodes drop every Monday, 1 p.m. Eastern.